You don't skip trends because you're above people. You skip them because your sense of self is tired of being recruited. In a culture that turns personality into content, refusing the latest challenge, sound, meme, or aesthetic can be a quiet form of protection. It's your inner life saying, "I'm not for rent." And this isn't a moral stance against fun. It's a response to an era that asks you to participate in public, constantly, when you're private by nature, when you're already stretched thin, when you're still figuring out who you are without an audience. If you keep standing slightly outside the herd, it may be because you're keeping something tender from being turned into a performance. It shows up in ordinary scenes. A group chat lights up with, "We're doing this." Someone sends you a clip and adds, "You have to." A coworker laughs, "How have you not seen it?" You smile, you nod, you let the moment pass. But inside, you feel a small fatigue. Sometimes grief. Because the request isn't just to join in, it's to prove you're still socially fluent, still present, still easy to read. You can do it. You just don't want to. You're tired of performing relatability. This world runs on attention, and attention is always moving. Trends are built for speed, quick adoption, quick reaction, quick imitation. They come pre-packaged, music, gesture, caption, timing, so you can step into a template and be understood instantly. For many people, that feels like belonging. For you, it can feel like shrinkage. Because you sense what gets traded in the exchange, a little privacy, a little dignity, a little silence. The invisible contract is simple: join the wave and the wave carries you, stay out and you risk vanishing. And you don't want to vanish. You just don't want to be edited into something simpler so you can be liked faster. So you hesitate. You watch the trend move through people like a bright flashlight. You feel the urge to comply, then the deeper urge to keep your face in the dark for one more minute. You don't want your mood turned into a punchline. You don't want your body turned into a caption. You don't want your taste turned into a signal that can be bought, sold, and replicated. You don't want to be consumed. Sometimes it isn't resistance at all. It's sensitivity. The same sound everywhere. The same joke everywhere. The same hot takes, sharpened and repeated until they lose all human warmth. Your mind can feel the compression. The flattening. As if millions of people are being guided into the same small emotional hallway: laugh here, desire this, mock that. And your nervous system says, "I can't do this again." You're tired. Not in a dramatic way. In the quiet way that makes you protective. Because trends don't only ask you to watch. They ask you to become watchable. They train you to look at yourself from the outside, constantly, to measure your life by how it would land on a screen. To curate your reactions. To keep scanning: would this get approval? Would this make me visible? Would this make me count? Maybe you've already spent years doing that in other places. At work, polishing your tone. In relationships, staying pleasant. In daily life, acting fine. So when the world offers one more stage, you step back and choose the margin, not because you dislike people, but because you love your inner pace. The slow forming of a thought. The private unfolding of a mood. The ordinary day that doesn't need an audience. You do feel a sting sometimes, watching everyone sync up. You feel a small loneliness. But you also feel relief. Real relief. Like taking off a tight shoe you forgot you were wearing. Because in refusing, you keep something trends can't hold: complexity. Contradiction. A self that isn't shaped for instant applause. That's not a defect. It's adaptation. It's the part of you that knows, if you turn everything into performance, eventually you won't know what anything feels like unless someone else reacts to it. And the world will have a way of misreading you. It calls your refusal cold, boring, too serious. It jokes that you're out of touch, like you missed a meeting everyone else attended. And if you're already the kind of person who feels things deeply, that misunderstanding can land like a bruise. You're not trying to look special. You're trying to stay intact. Trends aren't neutral. They are mini economies of attention. They offer a shortcut to belonging in exchange for your participation, and participation is measurable: views, shares, reactions, replies. Even when no one is counting out loud, your body can feel the counting. A trend is a script that travels fast because it's easy to repeat and easy to reward. It asks you to compress yourself into something instantly legible. To become a signal of in or out. And you are tired of being legible. You want to be real, even if it's quiet. Even if it doesn't translate into a clip. Sometimes you don't join because you know what happens after you post. The sudden exposure. The second guessing. The tiny panic of watching your own face on a screen, wondering how you came across. You feel a small shame for how quickly your nervous system turns a playful act into a threat. You're not fragile. You're alert. Because this era has trained people to treat visibility like safety. If you're seen, you exist. If you're not seen, you're replaced. So everyone learns to keep feeding the shared theater, keep posting, keep reacting, keep being present. And if you don't feed it, you can start to feel like a ghost at your own party. That's the pressure behind, just join the trend. It isn't about the dance or the joke. It's about proving you're still in the room. But you've noticed something: the more people chase togetherness through templates, the more alone they quietly become. You can copy the right tone and still feel misunderstood. Imitation can mimic closeness without creating it. So your refusal is sometimes a refusal of fake intimacy. A part of you would rather be slightly lonely than constantly perform. And yes, there is a cost. You miss references. You miss the easy laugh that comes from everyone sharing the same context. Some nights you sit with that and feel it in your chest, an old ache, the fear of being left behind. Then you remember what you're protecting. Yourself is not a brand. Your inner life is not a product demo. Your personality is not a subscription people can cancel when the vibe changes. This isn't superiority. It's boundaries. It's an attempt to live without constantly turning your face toward the crowd to check if you're still acceptable. This is adaptation, not a defect. Because a world that monetizes attention will always pressure you to spend yours. It will keep inventing new rituals of participation, new costumes of relevance, new little tests to see if you're still obedient to the current mood. And people who are sensitive to that pressure will either become performers, or become protectors. You became a protector. Not perfect. Not immune. Just honest enough to feel how draining it is to keep up. Picture yourself late at night, the room lit by a small lamp. Outside the window, the city flickers, headlights, apartment squares, distant neon. Your phone sits nearby like a small altar that asks for offerings. A new sound is everywhere. A new wave moving through the world. You don't hate it. You just don't step into it. You let it pass like weather. You look at your reflection in the glass and, for once, you don't try to polish it into something shareable. You breathe. Slow. Unwatched. And in that quiet, you feel the simple truth returning to your body. You belong to yourself first.